I don't know what's worse, being a New York Jet fan or a New York Yankee fan. Because the New York Jets have not been to the Super Bowl since the moon landings. They have not been consistently good since the flip phone was popular. And oh, yeah, highest expectations in 25 years just for them to only go out and win 5 games. Meanwhile, the New England Patriots, with their lowest expectations in 25 years, only won one single game less at 4 wins. Meanwhile, the New York Yankees, they're expected to win no matter what. Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner, they have money on their mind, spending an over combined $1 billion in the last 4 years just to miss the playoffs one time, almost go at 500 when they missed the playoffs, almost finish 81-81, and then finally make the playoffs as a dominating American League East winning team. They make it to the World Series, and boom, they get embarrassed. And I feel like that's almost the Yankee circle of life. They dominate in spring training, win the games that they need to win in the regular season, lose against teams, though, with sub 500 records. But nonetheless, though they dominate in the regular season, they have about a good 3 or 4 weeks, though, where they're in a rut. They are all in a slump at the same time. They get out of that slump all out at the same time. They hit a bunch of home runs, dominate once again, make the playoffs, and then just fumble it in the playoffs. They have some of the most embarrassing playoff exits I've ever seen. I mean, remember when Aroldis Chapman smiled after allowing the series clinching? I'm pretty sure it was series clinching. Well, nonetheless, game-winning home run to who was that? Jose Altuve, and then you have Aaron Judge dropping the ball in the World Series this most recent time, and then you have Nestor Cortez now coming out to say that the Yankees were the better team. No, they weren't. The Yankees, look, I'm a Yankee fan, I'm a Jet fan. Maybe that explains why I'm a little depressed. But the Yankees were not the better team in the 2025 World Series. The Dodgers, yes, I know that they are heavily loaded. They're even more loaded going into this 2025 season. Look, they're an overpowered team, right? But we all know with the Mets and with the Yankees, money does not translate to wins. For the Los Angeles Dodgers, it has. Because they've gone out and gotten every star player they possibly could. And a lot of international star players as well. The Los Angeles Dodgers played their cards perfectly in the World Series against the Yankees. And Nestor Cortez coming out and saying that the Yankees were a better team honestly sounds like something an alcoholic would say at a bar at 1 o'clock in the morning while he was talking to someone about his football or baseball career and how his high school team lost the championship some 30, 40 years ago. Forget about it. Forget about it. The New York Yankees were not the better team in the 2025 World Series. It was nice to see a Yankees-Dodgers World Series that was long, highly anticipated, but the Dodgers dominated over the Pinstripes nonstop, game in, game out. Players made a lot of errors, were not there when it counted. That they weren't. That the Yankees were not there when it counted. At the end of the day, once you make the playoffs, regular season means nothing. Doesn't matter what seed you are, you need to perform in the playoffs because the lowest seed could win it all. It's called upsets. The Yankees, they just have embarrassing losses. And then it takes you the whole season to forget about the losses just for them to once again dominate in spring training, dominate in the regular season, and your hopes get up again. Oh, yeah, another thing I noticed with Yankee fans. This isn't a rant on Yankee fans, I swear. But tell me this isn't true, though. Because on a serious note, the Yankee fans, well, a Yankee player at least, I'm talking about an average or below average player somehow impresses every Yankee fan ever. He ends up playing surprisingly good, comes out of nowhere, and ends up making the Yankees opening day roster and goes on like a insanity run for a week or two and then fades back into obscurity, and the entire fan base rallies around him and loves him. And I think that guy this year is Dominic Smith. Former New York Met, already knows how to play in New York, so forget about that. Dom Smith is batting a 286 right now with 1,000 OPS and 2 home runs. He put on number 22 and he started playing like Juan Soto. Oh yeah, a report came out saying that Juan Soto misses the Yankees. I don't blame him. He's playing for the little brother. Look, I'm a Yankee fan, but I love the Mets. I mean, I've covered the Mets for the last 7.5 years of my life. I have some love for them. But the New York Mets will always be the little brother to the New York Yankees, no matter what. Because nothing could replicate 27 World Series championships. I don't care how recent the Mets would win the World Series if the Yankees are in a slump. The Yankees will always be the big brother of New York. It's just the way that the vibe is. It's the way the energy is. It's the way it's always going to be. But nonetheless, the Yankees, compared to the Mets, on who's in a better spot, I think it's the Mets. Mets are not dealing with injuries. The Yankees have Giancarlo Stanton, Luis Hill, and DJ LeMahieu, who I'm surprised has not announced retirement yet. He's still grinding, but he's injured. Mets have not really dealt with any big injuries besides Frankie Montas. You got Kodai Senga throwing again, and that in itself is a beautiful thing. But the Mets have the new big three of baseball. I did a video on it the other day. You have Francisco Lindor, you have Pete Alonso, and of course Juan Soto. You have the new big three of baseball, at least for New York sports. You have a new big three right there. And Juan Soto, of course, is the king of New York. He always wanted to be a Met. He always wanted to be a Met, because if he wanted to be a Yankee, a few $1 million on what is already major life-changing generational wealth money wouldn't have mattered. He always wanted to be a Met. He wanted to grow that beard out a little, and the Yankees changing that facial beard policy is... I don't want to get into that. I'm traditional. I'm an old traditional man when it comes to New York Yankees traditions. I did not like the whole facial hair policy being gone. And, well, not gone, but being modified. And when it comes to Yankee injuries, you have Luis Hill, who's going to be sidelined 6 to 8 weeks. Bada bing, bada boom. Marcus Stroman, odd man out, 6 man in what was a 5-man rotation. You are in the capboard seat, my man. You are not going to be traded. I cannot see the Yankees trading Marcus Stroman at this point. There's no other good free agent pitchers still on the market, unless you look at Trevor Bauer, who I think is playing in the Czech Republic right now, something like that. But even so, you don't want that kind of controversy on the team. I think that Marcus Stroman is a very good addition to the Yankees. I don't think that Brian Cashman should have paid him as much as he did, but I love seeing Marcus Stroman on the Yankees. I mean, he fits in with the old-style bad boy Yankees. He brings back that bad boy vibe that the Yankees wore back in the 1990s, I feel like. Some people say that he's toxic in the clubhouse. I don't see any of that. I see him as a very motivational player who goes and he gets the job done. I know he had... I'm pretty sure like a 4.31 ERA last season. Not the best, but the Yankees defense could not help him out. The D was very, very weak behind Marcus Stroman last year, which undoubtedly inflated his ERA on a massive note. I think he would have an ERA more in the high 380s and mid 390s if the Yankees defense had performed better with him pitching. So now, staying on the Yankees spring training subject for just one more second, I just want to highlight 19-year-old George Lombard Jr. And don't say that he may not make the Yankees opening day roster. He's a shortstop. Yankees need shortstops for their platoon. I think he's making a very good bid. Him and Andrew Velazquez. Andrew Velazquez is having himself a pretty good spring training defensively rather than offensively. But nonetheless, George Lombard Jr., I'm talking about a 333 batting average and a 1.145 OPS. He is tearing it up. He has 2 home runs next to his name. He's having himself a very, very good spring training so far. If he keeps that up, the Yankees should highly consider at least him starting the season out in AAA. But nonetheless, I think he can make a very solid case to being a low depth chart add to the Yankees opening day roster. I don't think he will start on opening day, but I think he could crack the opening day roster, though. Moving over to football, staying with the New York Jets, though. Aaron Rodgers is a winner of 6 games with the Jets, not 5. I see too many people saying 5 wins. He has 6 wins. He's credited with 6 wins because the game he was taken out of after he only played 75 seconds in, that was credited to him as a win. Now, I don't think it should have been because Zach Wilson ultimately put the Jets in scoring positions. Zach Wilson put the Jets in a winning position for that overtime win. I think the win should have went to Zach Wilson, which leads me that the fact that quarterbacks who come in relief and win games, they're not credited with a win. I think the NFL should change that. I don't think it's going to change the game in any way whatsoever. I don't think we're going to see like major relief appearances for quarterbacks or a closing quarterback performance. But I think a quarterback that comes in relief for whatever reason and ends up giving the team the lead, if that team holds on to the lead, then that quarterback who gave the team the lead should be credited with that win. So comment down below what you guys think of that. Saying on the Aaron Rodgers topic, though, will he go to the New York Giants? I think so. I think the Giants are still going to draft a quarterback, not going to be in the first round, though. I don't think the Giants are going to get a quarterback in the first round. I think it would be really foolish to get a quarterback in the first round if they get a veteran presence. Get a quarterback in the second, unless you trade up from the second to the late first to grab one like a Jackson Dart if he's still on, which I think he will be. I don't think the Jets are going to get Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart, though, does want to play in New York. He said himself he could handle the big city. So that'll be interesting. And then ending or inaugural the Dom Khan podcast on the Knicks note. Shout out to my friend Kayla. Got me this Knicks hoodie, which I love, by the way. Kayla, if you're watching this, thank you. You're the real MVP. The Knicks got done in again by Seth Curry. They lost to the Warriors, but they were without Cat. Why were they without Cat? It's still unknown. He has personal reasons going on. And that's a concern, 100% to me. What is going on that's keeping him out of games? His girlfriend treated cancer. So that's making me believe that somebody close to Cat, which I hope I'm wrong, but somebody close to Cat has cancer. And hopefully it's not him. Because if so, we may not see him back this season. But nonetheless, I hope everyone's okay involved in that. You know, cancer is a booty hole, 100%. I mean, I could swear on here. I've sworn on the New York Sports Show so many times that I am censoring myself on my own podcast. I find that just really funny. But I hope Cat's back soon. Look, the Knicks are in very good condition right now overall. I mean, taking a look at the NBA standings, the New York Knicks are in third place with 40 wins, 40-21 at the making of this podcast episode. 11 games solid back on the Cleveland Cavaliers. No team's going to catch Cleveland, not even Boston. The Knicks, though, going to have a very high-seeded playoff slot once the playoffs start. But the Knicks, though, 6-4 in their last 10. When you look at the top 5 teams, they are actually tied for fourth. Because the Cavaliers are 10-0, Celtics 8-2, Knicks 6-4, Bucks 8-2, and then the Pacers are 6-4. The Pacers having a really good season overall. I feel like from what everyone expected them to be. I don't think anyone expected them to be a 5th place team. And then you have the New York Rangers. The New York Rangers, I know I said I'll end on the Cat note, but I just want to give a shout out to the New York Rangers, who overall have just had an amazing rebound. I mean, back-to-back shutouts, and they did lose last night in overtime, though, to the Capitals 3-2. They are 31-26-5. They are tied for that final wildcard spot. I believe that second wildcard spot with the Red Wings, but they hold that tiebreaker because they have 31 wins. 31 wins to the Red Wings 30 wins. So nonetheless, the Rangers playing good hockey overall. I mean, overtime loss, you still get points from it. Comment down below what you guys think of this first ever the Dom Khan podcast. I don't know why I said the. Look, I'm fumbling right now. I'm tired. Okay, but I know you guys aren't tired of listening to me, so tune in next Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the second episode of the Dom Con Podcast. I'm Dominic Konoveski. Take it easy, folks.